Good evening. If everyone please stand while our graduates enter. Maybe.
You may be seated. That was the easy part. Good evening. Welcome to Southwest Virginia Community College. I have the pleasure of serving this great institution as president. My name's Tommy Wright. We are so glad that you chose to come tonight to celebrate all of our accomplished students this evening. We know that they have had a lot of hard work, and you have been their support system. So thank you for all that you do. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your continued support of them. And as we think about what they've been through the last few years of trying to run the gauntlet in this program, I'm reminded of a motivational speaker one time that said that life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. And these folks have chosen to change what they can do and what they will do and the impact they will make in our communities. So we applaud you tonight, students. We look forward to what you'll accomplish in our communities. We applaud you, families, for your support. And again, we look forward to celebrating you as the night goes on. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Wright, and welcome, class of 2022, to your pinning ceremony. Woo woo! We're so excited to be able to honor you and all of your hard work tonight. My name is Nia Beavers, and I'm the coordinator of the RN program, and I would like to take a minute to thank all of our platform guests for attending this evening. And tonight we have with us Dr. Wright, president of Southwest Virginia Community College, and his beautiful wife, Tracy. Yeah, go ahead. Dr. Brandon, Vice President of Academic and Student Services. Dr. Pinion, Dean of Health Technologies. And our guest speaker for this evening, Mrs. Terry Crawford Brown. I also want to take a moment to recognize our nursing faculty. You guys know, without them, we wouldn't be here today, right? If they will stand to be recognized as I call their name, Mrs. Diana Cantrell. Mrs. Sherry Carpenter. Up here with me, Mrs. Bethany Rose. Mrs. Angel Shelton, Mrs. Kim Smith, and Mrs. Sunshine Wilmoth. We also have our nursing administrative assistant, Mrs. Diana Murphy, and our health technology assistant, Miss Tammy Austin. If there are any lab or clinical instructors here with us tonight in the audience, please stand at this time to be recognized. Yay! Thank you all so much for coming. Okay, last but not least, I'm sure the students would like to thank all of the friends, the family, the loved ones that have supported them along this long journey. We know that they have all made sacrifices to help get you here today. So students, let's give everyone here tonight a round of applause supporting you. Okay, at this time, we would like to have our student speakers come and address their class. These two ladies were selected by their fellow students to represent them. Miss Carol Cantrell is representing the main campus this evening, and Miss Sydney Boyd is representing the Grundy Booth Center.
It was an honor to be chosen by my classmates to deliver this address to the many families, friends, and nursing faculty, administration, and staff of Southwest Virginia Community College that are in attendance this evening. This group is far from your normal nursing graduating class. We are the first class that willingly started nursing school in the middle of a pandemic that disrupted everyone's lives. We knowingly went forward with our plans and with a few growing pains on behalf of both the nursing faculty and the students, we have survived and made it to tonight. So I'm going to summarize our 2 years of nursing school during the pandemic for you with ABCs of nursing school as evidenced by the class of 22. A is for AFib, a potentially fatal heart rhythm that has been associated with nursing school. But B is for blood. This is the only job field where if you look down and see blood, you pray that it's yours. C is for caffeine and calories, both of which have been consumed in ungodly amounts the last 2 years. D is for drug cards, and oh, how we love drug cards. E is for Ethan Howard, who I really expected to be up here doing this speech tonight. F is for friends and family, and the many friends that have become family. G is for graduation tomorrow, guys. H is for hit by car, because parking lots are scary places for baby nurses. Just ask Miranda. I is for IVs, and we can all remember that Superman feeling we had after that first successful IV. J is for Josh and Jill, both of whom are graduating tonight with about half the hair they started with. K is for kidney stones, which have also been connected to nursing school, probably due to that increased caffeine intake. L is for license, which is the ultimate learning outcome for nursing students. M is for May. Thank God we made it to May. N is for Nurse Sarah RN, the unofficial YouTube tutor for the Southwest Virginia Community College nursing program. O is for opportunity. It is amazing how many doors that have already been opened for us. P is for psychiatric nursing, where on any given day we could have been mistaken for the patients if not for the uniforms. Q is for quarantine, a fate that was suffered by at least 90% of nursing students at least once. R is for registered nurse, the ultimate goal of nursing students everywhere. S is for sim lab, the only place where talking to yourself and playing with dolls is considered normal. T is for test, where each one made us feel only slightly dumber. U is for uniforms, these lovely uniforms. If we never wear burgundy again, it may be too soon. V is for vital signs, so many vital signs. W is for wheelchair, where when operating these, many of us question how some of our classmates ever got a driver's license. X is for extra points and what we were willing to do for extra points. I think some of my classmates even danced through the town of Tazewell for a point. Y is for just why. Z is for Zoom class, where the entertainment of the day is seeing how many classmates were asleep at any given time, and where on some days our fur babies made as many appearances on camera as we did. Thank you all, and congratulations, class of 22. I also would like to introduce Josh and Jill. They have some awards that the class voted on that they would like to give out at this time.
This semester, we were able to have class in person every week. We were able to build wonderful friendships, and some hopefully that last a lifetime. We wanted to do something a little fun to end off these 2 hard years, so we decided to do class superlatives. The classes came together and pitched in money to make this happen, so all 3 classes could have their own superlatives. We have 3 different classes. This will be the order that they're called out in: Kim's, Angel's, and Sherry's. We will call up all 3 winners of each class for that same superlative at the same time. So all 3 just come up here and stand so I can give you your medal, and then you can go to your seat.
Okay, so we will start with class clown. Mason. Colton. And Alicia Grizzle.
You're going to have to bend down for me, honey.
Next is sassiest. Ethan Howard. Irene. And Renee. Next is most unforgettable. Haley Compton, Erica Hinkle, and Jerry Klein. Next, we have the unit parent, Brittany Miller, Carol Cantrell, and Savannah Childress. Next one is most likely to be late. Miranda Smith, Kayla Ratliff, and Heather Thomas. Next one is class cheerleader, Abby Presley, Jillian Baker, and Amanda Dotson. Amanda. Up next, we have the Energizer Bunny, Haley Beavers, Vera Stevens, and Shasta Hawkins. The next one is most likely to pass out during a procedure. Caitlin McNulty, Caitlin Boardwine, and Devin Krause. The patient whisperer of the class, Erica Hubbard, Megan Goody, and Denisha Mullins. And the last one is cool as a cucumber, Joshua Stevens, I was gonna wait till last, Emily Hale, and Ashley Van Dyke.
Thanks, everyone, and congratulations, everybody.
Hello, everybody. I'd like to say I'm honored to speak tonight. To all our friends and family, we thank every one of you for your support and your patience through the last 2 years of late night studying and early morning clinical days. I know there were moments when we were all a little cranky, a lot of sleep deprived, and very overwhelmed. Also, on behalf of the Booth Center students, I'd like to say a thank you to all of our teachers we've had over the last 2 years, and a special thank you to Ms. Carpenter, who was so kind and encouraging this past semester. Just so you know, Sherry, we love you. I thought I would share with the class a few things that I've learned from events in my life over the past 2 years. I'm going to keep this short, so don't worry. In November of 2020, my grandmother, who was my best friend, was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and it completely turned my world upside down. Over the next 13 months, we spent a lot of time with a lot of new people in a lot of different hospitals. I learned a lot about the type of nurse that I want to be, and I gained a lot more respect for nurses than I ever had. I realized that we have an immense impact that we make on not only our patients, but everyone around them. It was nursing staff at Pikeville Hospital that were so kind and so loving, she actually looked forward to chemo and was happy to be there. It was nurses at Buchanan General that stopped in to tell her hello and give her a hug, even when she wasn't their patient. It was nurses that would come in and lighten the mood and make us all smile. And it was nurses that reminded my family and I that we were doing the best we could, and that was enough. It was those nurses that truly made an impact on my life because they took care of not just the patient, but the family as well. My dad always told me, whatever you want to be a good one. And if there ever was a career path that needed more good ones, it's nursing. I pray that you will go out and be the type of nurse for your patients and their families, that knowing you're there or knowing you come on the next shift brings them comfort because they know that the patient and them will be taken care of. So whether this is the end of a long journey and you finally have your dream job, or this is just a stepping stone on the path to your next job, I can wish you nothing but the best of luck. So congratulations, class of 2022.
Thank you, students. That was awesome. It's my pleasure to introduce to you tonight our guest speaker, Mrs. Terry Crawford Brown. Terry graduated with her associate degree in nursing in 1993. She received her BSN from VCU in 1997 and MSN in hospital administration in 2010. Her work experience includes OB, ER, hospice, and house supervisor for 12 years, 8 of which she served as the lead administrative supervisor. Terry also recently started serving on the Virginia Board of Nursing last year. She founded Blackberry Winter 3 years ago, which is a local nonprofit that assists people in need, ranging from furnishing homes, assisting with medical equipment needs, and providing close to 500 children that were sleeping on the floor with beds. Terry resides in Richlands, Virginia. We're honored to have her here to speak with you all tonight. Please welcome her as she comes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank y'all for having me. I'm so humbled to be here. I can't adequately articulate what an honor this is for me to stand here and talk to y'all. 29 years ago, I sat where you're sitting to be pinned as a nurse, and what I recall about that day is praying to Jesus that the nursing instructors, the state of Virginia, and the college knew what they were doing to say that a dyslexic, pregnant, 19-year-old teenager was safe to go out into the world as a nurse. To say I was concerned is an understatement. And from the looks of Miss Umberger's face, I think she also was questioning the decision. But things worked out for me. But I put a lot of time and consideration in what I would tell y'all this evening. Keep in mind, I didn't know that all the other people were going to be here, so I thought I was just talking to nursing. So some of this stuff may not make sense to y'all, but for nurses it will, okay? I put a lot of time into considering what to say to y'all and what I wish I had known when I sat here 29 years ago. Most of the things I came up with are the same as everything in life. You can't learn the lesson by someone else telling it to you. You have to learn it through living it. But what I can offer you is some words of advice for you as you embark on this wild journey of a profession that we call nursing. Please be patient with me as I'm new to the public speaking arena. This is one of my first experiences with public speaking. I ask you to overlook my shortcomings in delivering the message and hear my words and my heart's intention in being here as in service to you guys. I'll also say that running my charity, I got a bunch of pallets delivered today I didn't know was coming, and I wasn't ready 30 minutes before I got here, and I never got to pin the very end of this, so we're just going to be going all off of what I planned on saying, and hopefully my mind don't fail me, okay? Y'all are kind of an intimidating group to talk to. You guys ran into the profession as a lot of other people were leaving it. So I keep thinking this thought today. It is in my estimation that y'all are the same caliber of humans as the police and the EMS and the firefighters that ran into the buildings of the Twin Towers on 9/11, and our military heroes who sign up for service during wartime. The difference is y'all had to get through nursing school before you could fulfill your desire to serve. I cannot imagine how hard nursing school has been in the last 2 years for y'all. It was a hardcore struggle when it wasn't a worldwide pandemic. You've had to overcome difficult obstacles, figure out how to learn in new ways, faced fears of unknown. It's a testament to your intelligence, resiliency, and stubbornness that you're all sitting here tonight. Those qualities will serve you well in the nursing profession. It's also a testament to your instructors' dedication to each one of you and to the nursing profession that you guys are here tonight. The message I bring to you here honors the high caliber of humans that all of you are. I'm going to speak candidly with you. I'm not going to water things down or sugarcoat the difficulties of your chosen profession. You guys deserve better. I have a couple major points to share with you, and then a few fun facts thrown in just to keep it interesting. But COVID did not create the brokenness that is in our current healthcare system. Y'all have been in it enough to know that there are some serious problems within the current healthcare system. COVID only served to shine a light and magnify the problems to the point that everyone saw them and couldn't ignore that they were there. There currently is a lot of discussion around the concern for the nursing profession and nurses. At the Board of Nursing, it is a constant conversation on a state, local, and national level. I personally am not concerned for the quality of nurses that are coming into the profession. My concern is the quantity, or lack thereof. Quantity is the concern. When I started my career, you could not work in ERs or ICUs or critical care with critical care patients until you had about 2 years experience. The last 2 years through this pandemic, I've seen brand new nurses come out of nursing school, work ERs, work in intensive cares. I've seen 2-year experienced nurses do charge in ICUs over critically ill patients, some of the sickest patients I've ever seen. And those nurses didn't just survive in that environment, they thrived in it. One thing that is for certain, hard teaches us things that easy never could. There's a lot of problems within our healthcare right now. Nursing shortages, unsafe staffing, discussion on capping nurses' pay, supply shortages, the list can go on. But I, for one, I don't have a solution to these problems. But there is one problem that I do have a solution for, and it requires all of us to consistently do what I am proposing to you here tonight. But it will work. Have you all been following the Redonda Vaught case? Redonda is a nurse out of Tennessee. She was the first healthcare professional that was criminally convicted for an error. She worked in the Vanderbilt healthcare system. She never had any complaints against her license or disciplinary action against her. She was working with a 75-year-old female patient, took her to MRI. The physician obviously thought that the patient may not hold still for the MRI, ordered a sedating medication to give in case they needed it. Redonda was in the radiology department. The patient needed the medicine. This is the part I say, and y'all might not understand. This is nursing lingo. Went to the AccuDose. The medicine hadn't been reconciled by pharmacy. She later learned pharmacy was short-staffed. Medicine wasn't reconciled. She overrode, pulled the medicine, and pulled Vecuronium instead of Versed. When the patient came out of the MRI machine, she coded, they brought her back, and she proceeded to die a few days later. Ms. Balt self-reported her mistake. I'm not trivializing or making light of that patient's death. That patient died a horrible and unthinkable way. Vecuronium is a paralytic, but it does not sedate. It not only makes the patient unable to move, it makes them unable to breathe. No one should have to die like that, but it was a mistake, an error. After reading the court documents and watching the footage of her trial, I knew for a fact I could have made that mistake. When I started as a nurse, I worked the OB unit only. We never pushed Vecuronium or Versed. The only experience I ever had with Versed was having a colonoscopy, and it sedated me, and I assumed made me hold still. I didn't learn about Vecuronium till later when we started working ER and started doing rapid sequence intubations, and Vecuronium is used to paralyze the patient and so the physician can intubate. A nurse in a large healthcare system that does not do rapid sequence intubation would not be familiar with either one of these medicines, or would not be familiar with Vecuronium if they weren't in an OR. So I put myself in her position, and that I could have made that error. I have overrode medications and pulled them and done, and that could be me sitting in the penitentiary. It's petrifying to me that a nurse could be convicted of a criminally negligent homicide and be serving time in jail for a mistake that the system set her up to make. The conviction changes everything for the nursing profession. This conviction is why my first piece of advice is around rules and regulations, which is probably shocking to any of y'all that know me personally. I'm not known to be a big rule follower. It'd be accurate to say I don't fall into the norm on a lot of things. I believe it's a gift that being dyslexic gave me, is the ability to see the big picture and see things in different ways and find different solutions to common problems. The first thing I want to tell you about rules and regulations is if you're asked to follow a rule you don't understand, ask for understanding of why, ask for understanding. Because as you understand the rule, and the importance of doing it increases the likelihood that you will comply with that rule. If it can't be explained to you, then maybe the rule needs to go away. Maybe it is outdated. Maybe it is just cumbersome. My first 10 years as an RN professional, I fell into the stinking thinking mentality and started thinking that rules were made maybe just to make my job harder, or somehow put more money in someone else's pocket. Or you could go in a hospital anywhere in the United States and you will hear a healthcare professional articulating some variation of this same sentiment. I'm here to tell you that that simply is not true. Administrators, regulators, and nursing leaders sat where you're sitting, joined the profession for the same reasons you joined the profession. They have those titles because they've done the work at the bedside and in the classroom, and they did all that because they care a lot. They are passionate about nursing, they care about patients, and they're passionate about the nursing profession. They do not want our jobs to be harder. They want our patients to be safe. Rules are created based on scientific data that shows that the public is at risk without them. Our allegiance as nurses is always to the public's safety. It is not to the one patient in front of you, it is to all of the patients. Remember what I'm saying to you. The rules were created to keep you from harming someone, created because the data says an increased likelihood that you will harm a patient doing the action that the rule is telling you, because there are other nurses who did what you're getting ready to do that caused harm. So why do nurses break the rules? The biggest reason nurses work around, break, or change a rule is because it isn't because they don't want to follow the rule. It's because the systems that were put in place to facilitate public safety and compliance to regulations are cumbersome, hard to use, and they fail. There will come a day at the bedside you will be in the position of Redonda Vaught was in, where the systems that were created to enable rule following will fail you. And you will be tempted to make a workaround to get the patient in front of you what they need. Do not do it. When a system fails, the burden of that generally only affects the bedside nurse. No one in an office or outside that patient's room feels the frustration of that failure more than the bedside nurse. The hospital is full of professionals that fill different, very important roles within each facility. Very few of them are ever at the bedside, and none of them do the hands-on patient care that nursing does. When a system fails us as nurses, and y'all that's worked in the hospital here can attest to, we generally tell one person that doesn't work, and the next time we come to work, if it still doesn't work, then we think no one cares, and we create a way to do what that person needs around that system. We create the shortcuts and the workarounds, but we can no longer be the profession that does not report. We have the largest number of employees in every healthcare system. We have to become the squeaky wheel. We have to call ITNS. We have to call supervisors. We have to call your managers, send emails, do occurrences every time the systems fail. Yes, it's one more burden. I'm a house supervisor. I'm telling y'all this and I'm going to make my job impossible. But I can tell you, if I'm called 10 times a shift to come witness a med administration because of a system failure, that problem just went to number one on my agenda to get taken care of. Directors of nursing getting 20 emails a shift on a system failure, that gets attention. One person can't be the squeaky wheel. It has to be all of us reporting the system's failures. I don't know if this seems important to y'all or not, where you haven't been nurses yet, but when you're there, Carol, you work in ICU, you know. These systems, it is so frustrating. It is the most frustrating thing. And that's why we give in to not following the regulations. And this is the one thing that I see we have power to change within the system. Back to Ms. Vaught. She felt responsible, and because pharmacy was short-staffed and radiology was in a hurry, she took the responsibility to override that medicine, and now she's paying the price for that. If the nurses unite and report and refuse to break the rules around a system that fails and it backs up radiology and OR, the systems will start working for us. They'll figure out a solution. When I say they, I am including myself, but there has to be a better solution. Yes, you'll get tired. Yes, you won't want to do it. You won't feel like it matters. It does. It matters more than the 5 patients you have that day. It matters for all the patients, including when you are one of the patients and your family is one of the patients. We have to demand working systems to keep our patients safe. Galatians 6:9 says, "Let us not become weary in doing good." So, fun fact, nurses are considered one of the most trustworthy and ethical professions in the United States. In the year 2020, nurses were voted the #1 most trustworthy and ethical professions for the 18th year in a row. The nursing profession beats out doctors, policemen, firemen, teachers, and even clergy. The public trusts us because we are trustworthy. The next point that I have or advice I have as you go out to be a nurse is it's not about you. It's never about you. When I was 27 years old, I was working in the ER, and I had an experience that forever changed me as a nurse. I had a 3-year-old that was brought in that had been sexually abused. And this was in a time before we had SANE nurses that came and done these exams and PERT kits on patients or victims of sexual violence. So 2 nurses, RNs, usually go in and we would do the PERT kit together. The PERT kit is I wrote exactly what it is here, but a PERT kit is lines and lines of descriptions and things you have to do very meticulously in the correct order, and if you mess any of that up, that evidence is not submissible into court. So I started doing this, and I felt I got too emotional to do it, and let me find that. I got really emotional. The child had her mother there. The mother was crying. The baby was crying. I just got real emotional. I stepped outside of the room. And my husband, who was a policeman, was also in the ER on another job. And I told him, I said, Richard, I just can't do this. I can't do it. And I'll never forget that he said to me, Terry, you go in there and you do that PERT kit exactly right, line by line, exactly like it says to do it, so that, I cannot say the word he said, goes to prison for the rest of his life. I knew immediately what he was saying was right. I was making that situation about myself. It was the first time I felt what is commonplace for me now, but I felt my mind shift from my emotional brain into my clinical-driven brain. That baby didn't need somebody to cry over her. She had her mom. She needed a professional, expert nurse that would do the job that needed done. She also needed me to be unemotional. She didn't know that's what she needed, but it is what she needed. The next thing I'm going to tell you is the same kind of story, but it solidified in my mind that in times of life and death and in emergencies, we are not there to be the patient's family. We are there to be their nurse. My first few pediatric codes really, really bothered me. And I would go home and replay them in my mind and wonder, did we do everything we were supposed to do? I decided that didn't sit well with me, that I wasn't sure. So I became a pediatric advanced life support instructor. I learned those algorithms. I knew the dysrhythmias. I knew the medications. I knew the jolts. I knew the voltages. I knew everything by heart. Every time there were a critically ill pediatric patient in that hospital, I wanted to take care of it. I could get the IO in, I could put an IV in, whatever. Because if that patient did not live, I wanted to know if it could have lived, it would have. This is me not being emotional, but being what that child and that family needed me to be, which is an expert that follows data, that follows science, and knows it. This is what you're called to do as a nurse. If there's something that you don't know if you're doing right, research it, follow the science, follow the data, learn it, and so you can go to bed at night. So you're not one of the 5 or 3 out of 5 in 5 years don't practice as a nurse anymore. Learn it, feel confident in it, and know, and then you can lay your head down at night and feel good, like you did the best. So in life or death situations, I can become very emotional, but when it's not life or death, I am still emotionally present and talk to patients. And I'm not saying we're not there to hold their hands and be emotionally present with the patients. I'm talking about life or death situations. Now, my paper's out of order. Wait a minute. So I've also given a lot of thought to why COVID has been so devastating to the healthcare providers. I mean, we're used to seeing death, we're used to seeing people die. And it was in thinking about what to say to y'all and in a couple of different experiences that I realized the reason COVID was decimating to the healthcare providers is they did not have their families. So they were in emergencies, and we could not go to straight clinical. We had to stay emotional and clinical. That is the piece that was so hard for all of us. The CDC says that the healthcare profession is now suffering the largest number of people suffering from PTSD that the world has known since World War II. That's what COVID has done. It was devastating to me. For the first time in my life, I have PTSD. It's very sad for me because I'm at the epitome of my career and on the board of nursing and now have this brokenness. And my hope and my prayer is as we move forward, we are going to be better prepared at supporting our healthcare staff in their emotional needs as well as their physical needs. The good news for y'all, though, is that history and science says we only get a pandemic about every 100 years, so y'all should be safe. We should have lived through the pandemic of our lifetime. So that's all the serious things I had to say about nursing. I'm sorry that was heavy and that was whatever, but you are going into a serious, hard profession. And you can be lighthearted and laugh. You have to be. Nurses have we've got, especially ER nurses, our senses of humor are dark and not appropriate, and I know this. My husband's a police officer and I'm a nurse. We go places and start saying things and people look at us. I'm like, oh, that isn't what people talk about outside of these professions. But the next thing I want to talk to you about is your purpose and your duty. One of the greatest virtues is a sense of duty. George Washington said happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. And Lincoln said, let us have faith that right makes might. And in faith, let us to that end dare to do our duty as we understand it. Your duty in life and purpose are often intertwined with one another. I believe that every person was sent to this earth for one purpose, and that was the purpose of serving others, to love one another. As a nurse, it is our duty to do our job with humility, responsibility, integrity, honesty, humbleness, kindness, and honor. Our duty demands these actions from us. And in rising up to meet these duties that we have as a nurse, we may also find that we have fulfilled our purpose in life, which is loving one another. One of the hardships of being a nurse is we are called to serve others, and it is a physically and intellectually trying profession. We forget to take care of ourselves. Self-care is such an important thing, and the lesson that I have learned through COVID and not taking care of myself is no is a complete sentence, and that means no to yourself. Whenever your mind says, I can't do another shift, you can't do another shift. People will only respect your limitations to the level that you respect your own limitations. If you give and give and give until you have nothing else left to give, the whole nursing profession in our community loses you as a nurse. Set your boundaries and stick to them. This is hard, I know, but I am now doing this for myself because of the hardships I put on myself and realized they kept demanding from me because I kept saying yes when I knew I wasn't physically and mentally able to do it. So no is a complete sentence, but remember, it's no for you too. You respect your no so that other people will respect it. It's along the same line, but people only love us to the level that we love ourselves. Self-love is very, very important. You have to work hard to embrace what you find your shortcomings. I used to think that being dyslexic and all these things were my weaknesses, and come to find out they are my strengths. It helps me look at things in another way. It helped me create Blackberry Winter, which is a very simple concept that serves hundreds of people. So learn to embrace your weaknesses and embrace your quirkiness and love yourself. My dad is one of the smartest and wisest people I know. So he sent me a text this morning, and he said, Helen Keller was the founder of the Deaf and Blind Foundation and the Civil Liberties Union. She flew a plane across the Mediterranean Sea, and she was quoted to say, "You are only held back by the things you allow yourself to be held back by." This is so true, guys. But the thing I want to mix that with is you can't do everything great all the time. If you're killing it in your professional life, you're probably missing your kid's soccer game. If you're sewing your kid's Halloween costume, you're probably eating chocolate chip cookies for dinner. Like, you can't be the best at everything all the time. So there's times in life that you will be just absolutely the very best at this one thing. Give yourself kindness and compassion on the other things that you're not able, the balls that you're not able to keep in the air. We're so hard on ourselves, and anyone from the outside looking in at us would think that we were doing the very best, but we don't give ourselves that same compassion and care. So my last thing I want to tell you is one thing that doesn't change is everything changes. The healthcare profession, the science, the data, all these things in the health changes constantly. It is exhausting. You have to continuously be reading, learning, knowing. Don't be one of these nurses that say, well, we used to. Well, yeah, we did used to, and they learned that that wasn't the way to do it, so this is how we do it now. So keep learning, but on the flip side of that, the things that change all the time too are what we value in a society, what we think is beautiful, what we think is valuable. Those things change too. What is beautiful and what is valuable is the authentic you. That's what you bring to the table. Don't change to fit into the situations, because you'll find even after you've struggled to fit in, then that changes, and that isn't no longer what everyone values. Just be you. For years I tried to fit in, and I didn't need to be in there. I wasn't doing anything well, just trying to fit in. Once I started being me and being authentic to myself, then that is when I was able to be my best self for my children and my family and as a nurse. So value change to learn the changes. Don't value change in trying to fit in to the norms. I'm so proud of all of y'all. I wanted to tell y'all, I used to think when they would say about the board of nursing, I would be like, oh, the board. They're just regular people that love nurses. I'm so proud when I go up there, and daggone, we're so supportive of nurses. So don't be scared of the board. I mean, they are people just like me who love the profession, love nurses. We want to support the nurses. There is not one contentious bitter one among the group. And I don't know how with a bunch of nurses. Usually you'll find one that's, but they're not. So don't be scared of the Board of Nursing. And I'd love to see y'all set your sights to that. We need more representation on these boards and things from Southwest Virginia. Our voices need to be heard on a state level. In the audience, we need to be on these different boards in Richmond and talk about what our needs are. Because when they talk about things, Richmond and Fairfax, it's like they're talking about a foreign country to me. It doesn't apply to us at all. So we fall under their regulations, but we are not represented there. So let's change that. Let's get more of us in Southwest Virginia in Richmond that speaks for us. Thank you all, and anything I can do to make it easier, I am open and willing. I hope to see y'all at the hospital, and I'm excited for y'all and the careers that you're going to have.
Thank you, Terry. All right, each year we give 2 student awards. These awards are based upon the most points earned in the program. The students can tell you the value of 1 point, right? They've given everything they have over the last few semesters to earn points. And as Carol said, we've even had them marching and dancing down the streets in parades to earn 1 point. So tonight, the first award we want to do is the Paige Umberger Award. Paige Umberger was one of the first nursing instructors here at Southwest. As an instructor, she always set high standards for excellence, and her legacy is the excellent nurses throughout the country that she has taught. This award honors the main campus graduate with the most points earned, and this year the award goes to Hoon Nguyen. Please come forward. The next award is the Florence Nightingale Award. This award honors the graduate at the Booth Center with the most points earned. The Booth Center is the off-campus site of Southwest Virginia Community College. It's a great resource for our students from that area. This year, the award goes to Sydney Boyd. Now, if the faculty would like to take their places, we will proceed with the pinning of the graduates.
Jillian Baker. Emily Grace Baldwin. Sydney Alina Barrett. Haley Tamara Beavers. Caitlin Mackenzie Boardwine. Amber Jasmine Boyd. Sydney Lee Boyd. Paige Danielle Burnett. Carol Ann Cantrell. Destiny Carter. Savannah Faith Childress. Jara Lynn Klein. Haley Compton. Joshua Cook. Devin Ryan Kraus. Tiffany Deal. Amanda Lee Dotson. Tasha Renee Fuller. Megan Goody. Alicia Grizzle. Emily Hale. Shasta Renee Hawkins. Danielle Helmendaler. Kimberly Renee Helton. Erica Nicole Hinkle. Samuel Colton Horn. Ethan Howard. Erica Catherine Hubbard. Rhonda Kinder. Tyla Lane. Caitlin Lee McNulty. Brittany Miller. Denisha Arlene Mullins. Kelsey McKenna Mutter. Hoon Win. Mary Irene Osborne. Alicia Powers. Abby Danielle Presley. Cheyenne Lee Price. Billy Puckett. Mason Rayleigh. Miranda Smith. Joshua Brian Stevens. Vera Faith Stevens. McKenna Nicole Tester. Heather Thomas. Amber Vance. Ashley Lynn Van Dyke.
All right, guys, I have to say you all look awesome in those pins. Aside from your pinning, your actual pinning, this is one of my favorite parts of the program because this is the time when we get to stand and recite the International Nurses Pledge. These are the things, this is who you are and what you'll be doing, basically what you're signing up for. It's not new to you. So what I'd like you to do is to turn to the page in your booklet, students, where it says International Nurse Pledge for Nurses, and I'd like for you all to stand. And we're going to recite together the Nurses Pledge. In full knowledge of the obligations I am undertaking, I promise to care for the sick with all the skill and understanding I possess, without regard to race, creed, color, politics, or social status. I will respect at all times the dignity and religious beliefs of the patients under my care, holding in confidence all personal information entrusted to me and refraining from any action which might endanger life or health. I will endeavor to keep my professional knowledge and skill at the highest level and to give loyal support and cooperation to all members of the health team. I will do my utmost to honor the International Code of Ethics applied to nursing and to uphold the integrity of the nurse. Thank you. Please remain standing.
All right, here's my favorite part. Dr. Wright, platform guests, faculty, friends, and family, I would like to present to you the graduating class of 2022. Woo-hoo! Yeah. Congratulations. We are so proud of each of you. Please keep in touch. We want to know how well you're doing in your jobs and on boards, right? Woo. Thank you all for attending the ceremony this evening. If the audience would please rise and remain in your seats as the graduates and platform guests leave the gymnasium. Thank you all.